We're here at the Kumara Racing Club for the final day of the West Coast Carnival, joined by one of the locals, Mick Guerin. Pretty special place to be in it.
It sure is, Tana. For people who come from here, and big hi to all your viewers, it's almost a religious racing experience. Like I go to racing all over the world, but this is one meeting I wouldn't miss. And for many people who come from Greymouth or the greater West Coast, which is Hokitika or even up to Bulla, they'll come home for Christmas and they'll stay till Kumara. Like I have experiences where I'm meeting people in the Koru Lounge in Auckland, or I'm bumping into people on the street in Wellington, and we're talking away about life and how's mum and dad and stuff, and then you say, oh, I'll see you at Kumara, and that's how you leave it, because you know they'll be at Kumara. So there's a lot of people here. It's a real homecoming. They'll have the family tents, they'll make a big day of it, they'll see friends they haven't seen from school, and it's really important because this racing club is like so many other small racing clubs in the country. They're part of the community in a way that a Riccarton or an Ellerslie would really struggle to be, because obviously they're far bigger businesses. So it's really important to us as West Coasters, this race meeting and this entire circuit, and I'm really glad it's still going, and I hope the 3 tracks that are still going here continue doing so for decades to come, because it means a lot to people here.
Yeah, and you get the Northern Raiders like Kevin Myers coming down, Kenny Ray also. They mean a lot to the community as well, don't they? Well,
without those guys, and Raymond Connors is going to be here tomorrow, you couldn't have these meetings. We don't have enough horses trained on the West Coast. There's only a very small handful of those. They've also put a lot of money in, Tana, to the track. If you come over here, like this is new. This was a second-hand rail, funny enough, from Australia. So they bought this from Victoria. That's a good quality plastic rail, really safe for the horses. The track itself, they've relayed a whole stretch of it right around here. This track's good. This is a 6. Good, nice 6. It's got a bit of give in it, of course, because this is quite soft soil. But yeah, it's going to be a good racing service. And when you think how close the horses are here to those marquees and all the people who are going to be lined up against the outside fence, it's about as close as you can get to horses in this country.
And it is a credit to the track staff here and to locals and the community for putting on a great day.
Well, the community you mentioned is really important. They spent like $170,000 on this track and the rail, and $50,000 of that was from donations from the local community. People who said, this is important to me. I want this to be part of my life, and I want this to be part of my kids' life heading forward. So the fact that those people were willing to do that is really important, that the community wants this here, and they were willing to put their hands into their own pockets to keep it here. But I think it's a pretty special day for lots of people here, but it's also a pretty good race day. I mean, Hurricane's a proper horse. You know, there's horses down here who can do a job. So it's not just circuit racing. You know, there's horses here like Toro del Greco, who's won twice on the circuit already, you know, who are going to be competitive at group and listed level.
Well, just over the last couple of meetings at Omoto and Reefton, you can just tell that these tracks are drenched in history, can't you?
Yeah, very much so. There's been some amazing stories here, like the grandstand's so old. You know, there's been people here whose father was a member of the club, and grandfather and great-grandfather. There's been some great stories here. James McDonald once came down here and rode a couple of horses for Ping Caro. I think it's the only time he's been here. We once had a dead heat in the Kumara Gold Nuggets, and the 2 horses who dead heated were trained by brothers, in Jimmy and Tom Lawler. Well, the chances of 2 horses dead heating in a race trained by brothers are incredibly remote. There's a lot of history here, so and West Coasters know how to have a good time.
It's definitely a prestigious race here too, isn't it? The Vernon and Vasey truck parts, Kumara Gold Nuggets.
Comes with a couple of nuggets. Gold can fluctuate in value these days, but that again is steeped in history, which goes back a long way before this racing club. But this is one of the older racing clubs in New Zealand. So.
Well, look, we look forward to it, and hopefully we'll see you on course.
You will. We've got a tent down there with about 70 of the family, believe it or not, because I'm one of 13, so we have a whole bunch of add-ons, and you guys are welcome to come along too. There'll be white bait, there'll be a couple of beers, and hopefully there'll be a winner, because I'm picking Saturday night. Won't come cheap.
Beautiful.